Did a lot of sewing because of my mouth. That was my punishment. Bound buttonholes, roll collars, and I swore I would never touch a sewing machine as long as I lived. But you know, my grandmother grew up in Butler Springs, Alabama. Her mother was a former slave. But my grandfather brought her to Detroit, Michigan. And I'm going to make the story sort of short. I was her little buddy. I sat in her room. She had a hand-tied quilt that was made from her family clothing, and I wasn't really happy with it because it wasn't very pretty. And I asked her to get rid of it and let's get a brand new one. And she told me, no, baby, them are my peoples right there. So when she would leave the room, I would go get a pair of scissors and I would cut that tie, trying to encourage her to get a new blanket. But when I would go back in, it was tied back up. So she didn't tell my secrets and I didn't tell hers. But I would write letters for her. And one of the letters was about, I wrote to one of her cousins. And she said that she fell and got her leg broke because she was bit by the snake. So my quilts are family stories. My mother would tell us stories and they were vivid and vibrant and they came alive. And we were lucky she would act the part, she would dress up. So my whole life was full of art. But it was 8 of us kids, so we had to collaborate and work as a team. But I just want to say thank you to this Lawrence community for trusting me with your children. Oh God, you have no idea. I taught them to be on time. Class starts at a certain time, not 12:31, but 12:30. And they showed up and they would call in when they couldn't make it and to let me know. I was teaching them about life. But I just want to say thank you to all of you, but I want to call some names out because I talked about collaboration. And I want to thank Susan Earle from the Spencer Museum of Art. I had 11 girls, and we had our first exhibition at the Spencer. It was called Visual Voices. And these were the girls that were part of it. I worked for the state of Kansas and family preservation, and these little girls were removed from their homes, and some of them went to foster care. And as they got older, one of the grandparents approached me and asked would I teach them how to make quilts, and I did. And that was my way of giving back. Then I started collaborating with the community. I opened up the first African American quilt museum with using my own quilts initially and teaching the kids. Michelle Loomis called me up, Marla, I have an idea. I want you to come in my classroom for 6 weeks and teach these kids. And I said, oh God, Michelle, are you sure? Because I'm going to teach them. But we had a fabulous time, and every time I had the opportunity, there was greatness behind it. Kids got to have a quilt that traveled. They're part of a major magazine, part of a Mandela exhibition that went to South Africa. So there's just been greatness behind us, but I'm going to be brief. I just got to say thank you to Jessica Pennewell. I don't know if she's here. She helped. Shade Little, who sponsored us for 2 years. I want to thank the Lawrence Art Commission, Task Force, the City of Lawrence, Explore Lawrence, Freedom's Frontiers, Marvin Crum, my brother, who I enticed to come and help me. He's an artist. He learned how to use the sewing machine. We have a backlog. We have 10 quilts to complete before the convention. And I want to thank my kids in the Beyond the Book program. And that was Violet, Tegan, Evie, Chloe, Honor, Justice, and most important, Mia Rutledge. my niece started when she was 14 years old, and she's now 18, and she's our graphic and designer, and she's the genius behind our website. She created art to make the website. And now we are going to be hosting the first African American quilt convention. We have the most famous artist in the quilt world, Faith Ringo, will be here at the Lawrence Art Center and at the Lead Center. And she reduced her price for us, so we're so thankful. So I'm a negotiator. But we're bringing so many artists, and this is not going to be the first time. We have the infrastructure, we have the history. We're going to make a difference in the world. We're going to have a national spotlight and an international spotlight. And this is a little girl, a little black girl from Rolla Township with a learning disability who went to the principal in 2nd grade. My grandfather fought and got tenured for the black teachers in my community. And I asked the principal to fire this teacher because I was having difficulties. And he said, Miss Crum, I want you to come to class. Your reading class in my office tomorrow. And I had a little briefcase because my grandfather would carry one, so he knew it was going to be an important meeting. And I read for him. He said, Miss Crum, you know what? You're going to change the world. You're going to teach kids just like you, and you're going to make a difference. And we're making that difference collaboratively. We're doing it together. And I want to thank you, but I want to thank Don Jackson. He's been my husband for 30 years. That's all I have to say. Thank you.